Hey bookworms, welcome back to Book Peer. I'm Paul.
And I'm Alice.
Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel so you never miss an episode.
Yes, please do. We really appreciate that.
So today we're tackling a classic that sold millions of copies, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's a guide to, well, living a happier and more successful life, both personally and professionally.
This book, though, it isn't about those quick fixes or life hacks.
Oh, definitely not.
It's about making, profound changes
Yeah.
that last. And it all starts with who you are on the inside.
Okay, so let's break down one of the first big ideas.
Yeah.
The difference between the character ethic and the personality ethic. I've always found those to be kind of interesting and a little bit tricky to wrap your head around.
Yeah, so imagine trying to fix a rusty car, but you're just slapping on a new coat of paint. It might look good, for a little while, but the rust is going to eat through.
Oh,
And that's kind of like the personality ethic. It focuses on appearances and techniques, but it doesn't address the underlying issues.
I see. So it's like trying to get good grades by just cramming for a test the night before instead of, actually learning the material throughout the semester.
Exactly. What the book really advocates for is the character ethic, which is about building a strong inner foundation based on principles like honesty, integrity, fairness.
It's like building a house on a solid rock foundation rather than on shifting sand. It's about becoming a better person from the inside out, which then influences everything you do.
Right. And the author believes that true effectiveness in every part of life stems from this strong character base.
I like that.
Now, this idea ties into the maturity continuum that the book talks about.
Maturity continuum. That sounds kind of intense. What's that all about?
It's actually a pretty simple idea. It describes how we grow from being dependent on others, like when we're kids, to becoming independent as we learn to stand on our own 2 feet. But it doesn't stop there. Oh. So there's another level beyond just being independent.
Yes. The ultimate goal is interdependence, which means recognizing that we can achieve even greater things by working together with others.
So it's like realizing that even superheroes are stronger when they team up with others who have different skills and powers.
Exactly. And that's where the 7 habits come in. They provide a framework to guide us along this journey from dependence to interdependence, helping us become more effective in all areas of our lives.
Okay, so let's dive into these habits.
Okay.
The first one is be proactive, but what does that actually mean in practice? It's more than just taking initiative, right?
Absolutely. It's about taking responsibility for your own life, your choices, and how you react to situations.
Okay.
Think about it like this. There are things you can control, like your attitude and effort.
Right.
And things you can't control, like the weather or what other people do. Proactive people focus their energy on their circle of influence, the things they can actually do something about. So it's about choosing to focus on what you can control rather than getting stressed out about things that you can't.
Exactly. It's about being the thermostat, setting the temperature, instead of being a thermometer just reacting to the environment. So let's say you're stuck in traffic.
Okay, yeah, happens all the time.
A reactive person might get angry, then frustrated. But a proactive person would use that time productively. Maybe listen to a podcast.
This one?
Maybe. Or planning their day. If you enjoyed this part, hit that like button and stay tuned because we'll be back to unpack the next habit. Don't forget to subscribe to Book Peer for more interesting summaries of amazing books.
All right, so we're being proactive, taking charge of our choices and reactions. What's the next habit we should be working on?
Habit number 2 is begin with the end in mind.
Whoa, that sounds pretty profound. What does that even mean?
It's all about having a clear vision for your life, like a roadmap, guiding you towards your goals.
Okay.
Imagine it's way in the future and you're at your own funeral.
Okay, that took a bit of a dark turn.
It might seem a little morbid, but stick with me. Think about what you would want people to say about you.
Okay, yeah.
What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? What kind of person do you want to be remembered as?
I see what you mean. It's about defining your values and goals so you can live your life with intention rather than just drifting along reacting to whatever comes your way.
Exactly. This habit encourages us to write down our personal mission statement, a clear articulation of our values, goals, and the kind of person we want to be. This helps us stay focused on what truly matters, especially when life throws us curveballs.
That makes a lot of sense. If you're listening and this resonates with you, leave a comment below and let us know what your personal mission statement would be. We'd love to hear your thoughts. But okay, let's say we've got our personal compass set, we're being proactive, we have our end goal in mind. What's the next step?
The third habit is all about putting those first two habits into action. It's called put first things first.
Time management. I
Yes,
think we could all use some help with that.
absolutely. This habit is all about prioritizing and making sure we're spending our time on the things that truly matter. Covey introduces this tool called the time management matrix, where he divides tasks into 4 quadrants based on how urgent and how important they are.
Okay, break that down for me. What are these 4 quadrants all about?
So think of it like this. Quadrant 1 is for things that are both urgent and important,
Oh,
like a deadline at work or a family emergency. These are the things that just demand our immediate attention.
right, those are the things you can't really ignore. What about the other quadrants?
Quadrant 2 is where the magic happens. This is for tasks that are important but not urgent,
Okay.
like planning for the future, working on personal development, or building strong relationships. These activities are, crucial for long-term success and well-being, but they often get pushed aside because they don't feel as pressing.
So it's about being proactive and investing time in things that will pay off in the long run, even if they don't feel like a crisis right now.
Exactly. But so many of us get caught up in quadrant 3. Uh-oh. What's that?
Activities that are urgent, but not actually that important,
Oh, okay.
like responding to every email the second it comes in, or attending unnecessary meetings.
Oh, I definitely feel that. I sometimes get so bogged down in those urgent but not important tasks that I don't have time for the things that really matter.
And then there's quadrant 4, which is basically the procrastination zone.
No, no. Everyone's got that one.
These are activities that are neither urgent nor important, like scrolling through social media for hours or watching TV when you have other things you should be doing.
Okay, so the key takeaway here is to prioritize quadrant 2 activities, even if it means saying no to some of the urgent but less important things that come up. It's about being intentional with your time and energy.
Precisely. Now, once you have a good grasp of those first 3 habits, being proactive, starting with the end in mind, and putting first things first, you're ready to move into what the author calls public victory.
Public victory. What does that mean? It's about building strong, healthy relationships and working effectively with others. And these next 4 habits build on that foundation we've established with the first 3.
Right. It makes sense that you need to master yourself before you can effectively lead or collaborate with others. So what's the first habit in this public victory section?
Habit number 4 is all about collaboration and mutual benefit. It's called think win-win.
I've heard that phrase before, but I used to think it was just about compromise.
It's actually a much deeper concept than that. Win-win is a mindset, an approach to interacting with others where you genuinely seek solutions that benefit everyone involved.
So it's not about one person winning and the other person losing.
Exactly. It's about moving away from that competitive mindset and looking for solutions where everyone feels good about the outcome. It's about collaboration and finding creative ways to meet everyone's needs.
Could you give me an example of what that might look like in real life?
Sure, imagine you and a classmate are working on a group project, and you have different ideas about how to approach it. Instead of arguing and trying to force your idea on them, you take the time to really listen to their perspective and try to understand where they're coming from.
So you're not just trying to win the argument.
Right. Maybe you discover that by combining elements of both of your ideas, you can come up with an even better solution that you never would have thought of on your own. That's the power of win-win thinking.
That makes so much more sense than just trying to get your own way all the time. It's about being open to other perspectives and finding solutions that benefit everyone. Okay, on to habit number 5.
Habit number 5 is all about communication and empathy. It's called seek first to understand, then to be understood.
I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory, right? Listen to others before you try to make them listen to you.
It sounds simple, but it's one of the hardest habits to actually put into practice. We often listen with the intention to reply, not to truly understand.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely guilty of that sometimes. I'm so busy thinking about what I'm going to say next that I don't fully absorb what the other person is saying.
We've all been there. But when we really focus on understanding the other person's perspective first, it builds trust and opens up the lines of communication. It allows for more meaningful and productive conversations.
So how can we become better listeners and really practice this habit in our lives?
It takes conscious effort. Next time you're in a conversation, resist the urge to jump in with your own thoughts right away. Instead, focus on really listening to what the other person is saying, both their words and their nonverbal cues.
So pay attention to their body language, their tone of voice, and the emotions behind their words.
Exactly. Ask clarifying questions to make sure you're really understanding their perspective. And only once you feel like you truly get where they're coming from, then you can share your own thoughts and feelings.
That makes a lot of sense. When you feel like someone really understands you, you're much more likely to be open to their perspective as well. Okay, so we're getting good at listening and seeking to understand others. What's next?
Habit 6 builds on that idea of understanding and collaboration. It's called synergize.
Synergize. It kind of sounds like a corporate buzzword. What does that actually mean?
It's about recognizing that when people with different perspectives and ideas come together, they can create something much greater than they could individually. It's like the saying, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
I think I'm starting to see where you're going with this. It's like when you're working on a project and everyone brings their unique skills and talents to the table, you end up with something much more creative and innovative than if anyone had worked on it alone.
That's a great example. Synergy is all about valuing and leveraging the differences between people to create something new and better. It's about embracing those differences instead of seeing them as obstacles.
So how do we actually create synergy in our lives?
It starts with being open-minded and respectful of other people's viewpoints, even if you don't agree with them. Be willing to challenge your own assumptions and be open to learning from others.
It sounds like synergy is the key to unlocking innovation and creativity. It's about recognizing that we can achieve amazing things when we work together and combine our strengths. Don't forget to like this episode and subscribe to our channel, Book Peer, for more discussions. We'll be back with the final habit after a quick break. And we're back with the final habit in the 7 habits of highly effective people.
Yeah.
Habit number 7, sharpen the saw.
This one might sound a little strange at first, but it's a really powerful metaphor.
Oh, I'm intrigued. What's the metaphor all about?
Okay, so imagine a lumberjack trying to cut down a tree with a dull saw. It would take forever, right? They'd be exhausted, frustrated, and probably wouldn't get very far.
Yeah, that sounds super inefficient.
Exactly. Sharpen the saw is all about taking care of ourselves so we can be effective in all areas of our lives. It's about renewing our energy in 4 key dimensions: physical, social or emotional, mental, and spiritual.
So it's like preventative maintenance for our well-being.
Precisely. Let's start with the physical dimension. This is all about taking care of your body, eating healthy foods, getting enough sleep, and exercising regularly.
Makes sense. You can't really function at your best if you're running on fumes.
Right. And then there's the social-emotional dimension. This involves nurturing our relationships, building strong connections with others, and contributing to something larger than ourselves.
So it's not just about taking bubble baths and meditating.
No, it's about being an active participant in your community and making a positive impact on the world around you.
I like that. What about the mental dimension?
This is all about keeping your mind sharp and engaged. It could involve reading, learning new skills, taking classes, or having stimulating conversations.
So it's not just about hitting the books 24/7, but about actively expanding your knowledge and challenging yourself mentally.
Exactly. And finally, we have the spiritual dimension.
What does that entail?
This is about connecting with your core values and finding a sense of meaning and purpose in life. It could involve meditation, spending time in nature, or engaging in religious or spiritual practices.
So it's about finding what nourishes your soul
Yeah,
and gives you a sense of direction.
exactly. And remember, sharpening the saw isn't a one-time thing. It's an ongoing process that we need to make time for consistently.
This has been a fantastic breakdown of the 7 habits of highly effective people. We've learned about the importance of building a strong character base, prioritizing our time, seeking to understand others, and continuously investing in our own well-being. And hopefully, our listeners can apply some of these habits to their own lives and become more effective.
Absolutely. I hope you found it insightful and inspiring. It's a really great book with, I think, a lot of really great advice for people.
Yeah, I think so too. We've covered a lot of ground today, and we'd love to hear your thoughts. Which habit resonated with you the most? How do you plan to implement these principles in your own life? Let us know in the comments below.
And don't forget to like this episode and subscribe to Book Peer for more thought-provoking discussions on personal growth and development.
Until next time, keep those saws sharp and keep learning.